The idea that Joe Biden is running on and a lot of Democrats are that, oh, the Republican Party is different than the MAGA movement, like that they're separate.
No, they're not.
Is ridiculous.
They're
It's
not.
ridiculous. And I think it's political poison. It's a bad idea to try to separate them, because instead they could be saying, look at what the Republican Party represents and what they're willing to accept, and use that against every Republican. And instead put the Republicans on the moderate Republicans on the back foot, where they have to start denying their party and saying like, well, I'm not that kind of person. Well, I wouldn't do that. And that changes the narrative, right? Instead, they're replying to they're showing their great support for Israel. They're making compromises on trans rights bills, like here in New Hampshire. Like they're going once again with this trap that if we just meet the Republicans in the middle, then they will be good statesmen and stateswomen and meet us in the middle as well. And they won't instead gut everything they can from it and then go farther to the right the next election cycle.
Yeah.
And Marjorie Taylor Greene is a perfect example of this. And I think that, like, whether it's the impeachment of Biden that we see that's completely useless,
right,
or like you have written here, the history of like just baseless shit that she says that's completely not even like centered in around fact, let alone on fact. Like the QAnon shit that she regularly subscribes to, it is like I still remember the alternative facts line from the first year in the Trump presidency.
I haven't heard that phrase in a long time. Alternative facts.
But it's so true. They live in a different world. Like at least liberals live in the same world with me, right? Like we can have a debate about capitalism or about Israel Palestine or about like money and politics, like with liberals. And most of the time, if they're not on TikTok making comments or YouTube, if they're actually in person, people are pretty open-minded and like non-heated, and we'll have that conversation. And that's the same with, I'd say, moderate Republicans, although they are a much dying breed. But the current base of the Republican Party and the far right is living in a delusional candy land where there are Jewish space lasers.
They're not sending their best. They're sending people that have lots of problems, and they're bringing those problems with us.